Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something really practical, something that might help cut through all that mental noise that kind of trips us all up sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking at this really interesting approach. It's pretty simple, actually, for finding focus and, calm when your thoughts start running away from you.
Right. Because, I mean, let's face it, our minds can just generate chaos. You'd get some weird email or things just don't go to plan, and
Yeah.
boom, you're stuck in that anxiety loop, right?
Yeah.
Jumping to the worst conclusion, losing track of what's actually going on. That feeling, that overwhelmed feeling,
Yeah.
that's what this is supposed to tackle.
Exactly that. And what's really cool here, I think, is the solution isn't some high level abstract thing. It's very direct. It's a 3-step process using physical actions, simple things you do to interrupt those biases, those thought loops.
Yeah.
It's about kind of snapping yourself back to reality, finding that stable mindset again.
And so our mission today is to unpack these 3 steps, really get into the logic, figure out how you can use them like right away when you feel things spiraling.
Think of it like training your brain, giving it a quick reset button.
I like that, a reset button. And the steps have these really straightforward names, don't they? It's open your eyes, look around, and then the last one is lock in and take action. It's all about moving forward.
And what really grabs me is the underlying idea that just engaging your physical senses, taking these sort of intentional physical steps can actually be a shortcut, a way past those ingrained emotional reactions, that mental chatter that keeps you stuck.
Using your body to anchor your mind.
Pretty much, yeah, grounding yourself.
Okay, so let's break down this first step. Open your eyes, check if it's real. That almost sounds too simple. What's really going on there?
It does sound simple, but there's a lot packed in there. It's targeting that very first reaction, which, let's be honest, is often emotional and, frankly, often wrong. Our brain jumps to conclusions way before we've rationally processed things.
Like the classic example, you hear a noise downstairs in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and your first thought is, intruder. Panic!
Exactly. That's the perfect analogy. But what do you actually do before you, grab a weapon or call the police? You probably open your eyes really wide,
You
right?
listen hard.
Yeah.
Try to figure it out first.
You listen, you check things out, maybe wait for another sound, you verify, you check reality before you react based purely on that fear.
And the example they give for this is, well, it's painfully relatable. You text someone, you see the read receipt,
Yeah.
and then nothing. Silence.
Oh, yeah.
And that immediate thought, that knee-jerk reaction is often something like, oh, God, what did I say? Are they mad? Do they hate me now?
Total mind spiral, right? And this step just says, whoa, hold on, open your eyes. Question that initial fear, that assumption. Ask yourself, is that really true? I mean, what else could be happening?
Right, like maybe they just got busy or put their phone down.
Exactly. Maybe they got a call right then. Maybe they meant to reply and got distracted. The idea they suddenly hate you based on a delayed text. That's almost certainly, an emotional story you're telling yourself, not a fact.
So the big takeaway for step 1 is don't just automatically trust that first emotional hit, especially if it's fear or anxiety talking. Pause. Check.
Is this based on reality or is it just an assumption? Old baggage, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Ground yourself in what's actually factually happening right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Which then leads us naturally to step 2. Look around. Find your focus. So you've done the reality check. Maybe your initial fear wasn't real, or maybe something did happen, but it's not the catastrophe you imagined.
Right.
Where do you put your attention now?
Right. This is all about directing your focus wisely. The core question here becomes, okay, in this situation, what part can I actually control and what part is just completely out of my hands?
And the metaphor they use here is really vivid, too. Like a trained fighter or someone skilled in a chaotic situation. They don't freeze up looking at the whole mess.
Yeah, exactly. They scan quickly. They look for what they can use, what they can influence right now, maybe an escape route, maybe something nearby they can use as a tool or shield. They filter out all the noise they can't affect.
It's like mental triage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Assess the situation. What tools do you have? What actions are actually available to you? The example given is your friend cancels plans last minute. And you feel that surge of annoyance, maybe disappointment.
Oh yeah, that instant irritation happens all the time.
Totally normal feeling, but applying look around, where should your focus go? You can't force your friend to uncancel, right? Their decision, their reasons. At this moment, that's outside your control.
I can control what I do with that suddenly free evening.
Bingo. You can choose to sit there feeling annoyed, or you could decide, okay, what's something productive I could do, or even just what's something enjoyable I can do for myself now. You shift focus from the thing you can't change, the cancellation, to the choices you can make about your own time and actions.
Okay, so the point here is identify what you can influence, consciously let go of the rest, and then laser focus your energy only on where you have some actual agency.
That's it. Drop the uncontrollable stuff.
Right. So step 1, check reality, open your eyes. Step 2, find what's controllable, look around. What's next? Step 3 is lock in, take action.
Yeah, this is where you turn that clarity into actual movement. Once
Yeah.
you know what's real and you know what part you can control, this step says, stop thinking about it so much. Just do it.
Yeah.
Dive in. Ignore the distractions. Ignore the things you can't change. Just take the next logical step based on what you just figured out.
The sports image here is great too, like a soccer player taking a penalty shot. They've identified the target, the goal. They don't get bogged down worrying about the crowd noise or, bad call from the ref earlier or that teammate who messed up a pass 5 minutes ago.
Nope. Tunnel vision.
They just lock their focus on that one thing, the goal, and they take the shot. It's pure concentration on the action needed right now.
It's about breaking through that feeling of being stuck, that analysis paralysis we all get sometimes. The example they give is, you're giving a presentation, maybe a big one, and poof, the projector dies.
Oh, the worst. That cold dread hits you.
Totally. Been there. But applying this step, okay, you can't magically fix a projector in that second. That piece of tech is right now outside your immediate control. But what can you control?
Well, I can control how I continue. I can still talk. I can maybe use a whiteboard if there is one, or just rely on my voice and notes, engage the audience differently.
Exactly. You pivot instantly. You lock in on the goal, which is delivering the information, communicating your message, and you adapt your action based on the tools you still have available.
So the core message of step 3 is stop wasting energy asking why me, or why did this happen, or this isn't fair, and immediately switch to asking, okay, given this reality, what's my very next move? And then this is key, actually do it.
Yes. Take the action. Don't just identify it.
Yeah. Let's just quickly run through those 3 steps again and the sort of question each one poses.
Sure. Step 1. Open your eyes. Is it real, or is it just an emotional reaction I'm having?
Step 2, look around.
Yeah.
Okay, what part of this situation is actually in my control?
And step 3, lock in. What's my next move? Let's do it. Take action now.
It feels, I don't know, deceptively simple. But there's definitely something powerful there. And the advice given is to practice this.
Right.
Not just wait for a crisis.
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Just, in your day-to-day life, when you have a quiet moment, consciously practice opening your eyes, noticing your thoughts without judgment, and looking around, scanning your situation for what's truly in your control versus what isn't.
So you're building the muscle.
Exactly. You train that mental muscle when the stakes are low, so the process is faster, more automatic when things actually get stressful. And, for anyone listening who finds this connection to Stoicism interesting and wants to dig deeper,
Yeah.
a couple of books often come up. For a really accessible start, The Beginner's Guide to Stoicism by Matthew Van Natta is apparently quite good. And then for the sort of foundational stuff, the classic discourses by Epictetus, it's ancient wisdom, but it ties directly into these ideas about perception, what you can control, and taking action.
Gotcha. Good recommendations.
Both solid places to explore the philosophy behind this kind of method.
So there we have it. This 3-step method sounds simple, maybe even obvious at first glance, but it seems like a really potent way to cut through that emotional fog, that anxiety, and just quickly refocus on what actually matters, what you can realistically do.
And if you apply these steps consistently, you really can start to lower your daily stress and frustration. It's fundamentally about building resilience, isn't it? By constantly deliberately pulling yourself back to the present moment and focusing your energy where it can actually make a difference. It's about reclaiming your sense of agency.
Reclaiming agency. I like that. Okay, so a final thought for you to chew on as you go about your day. Think about this connection. How can the simple act of physically orienting yourself, the literal opening your eyes to see what's real, or looking around to scan what's controllable, how does that physical grounding actually change your internal state? How does it set you up for effective action, for that lock-in step? Does thinking about that link between external awareness and internal control maybe challenge how you usually react when things get tough?
Yeah, that's a powerful connection to reflect on. How the physical influences the mental.
Definitely something to think about.